Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. No Rhett this morning because it is already 8:49, so I only have a few minutes for this video, just like the last few days. I don't know. Like, it's like one of those things where I know something is weird. Something's just really weird, and I'm trying to learn something new. I'm trying to understand something I've never understood before. I feel like I'm in a sort of a taboo sort of situation where npm start. Where it's just like something we don't talk about. We just don't talk about this. It feels like if you're a little kid and you walk in the room, all of a sudden the parents get quiet, or you bring up a subject and the parents get quiet or something. And you're like, it's just not something that no one wants to talk about. And that's like post construction dependencies. Like we have dependencies that don't, they don't, it's not that the dependency has to be done before the parent is created or before it's built. It's that the dependency needs to be done when I need it to do what I need it to do. So like in this line 27 here, this inject mesh service is another way of saying the st mesh service doesn't has no reason should not exist without this other service, which is exactly true. That's exactly what I want. But the problem is that I mean I don't know what the problem is, but it seems I've just gone round and round in just frustrating conversations with um, ChatGPT because it just gets super vague. But see here in the delete service, we have this delete st for st render, and then we use our st render service here, and we get that straight from the injector. And just going round and around with ChatGPT, like why this is a problem, what's the deal, and it just gives all this vague stuff like, oh, you're gonna lose visibility. It's like I don't even know what that means. You're hiding a smell. It's a code smell. It's this and that. No, like actual like what I would consider an actual good reason. But I did notice that every time I went around and around, it was taking different angles to sort of talk me out of off the ledge of doing this. It just kept talking about visibility, 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 and I just don't even know what they were talking about. But I think it does bring up a good point in that, like when you look up here at the sort of the application, you can't actually easily see that there is in fact a a dependency to the scene service. That the scene service, I mean, to the renderer service. Like you can't tell. There's nothing you can look at in here and tell that you need a renderer service. So I guess that makes sense that we have a renderer service situation here. Like we have a depends to render service, but there is really no visibility into that. So we really want to write code. I want to write code that is defendable, which, like in the 1990s, when I first started writing code, the only defense a code needed was that it worked, but that is just not the reality anymore. Should be. I think it should be the reality, but it isn't. Um, so I almost feel like I should create like a st scene injector service, or like ideally it would be like st scene post constructor dependencies. That seems like would be a really good name for a class. It's just too long, but it does kind of describe what the whole point is. Um, but then that's where you would look, and that's where you would get your instance. A class in there that gives you instances. So then it's very clear that you have a dependency. Um, Let me go to ChatGPT and see. Um, to name a class in Angular, and ideally, the name would be something like post construction dependencies. Maybe that is, um, but that seems like a mouthful. Yeah, it technically describes it, but it doesn't find any readability. This is accurate but painful tension. It usually means you're naming mechanism instead of intent. Post init after init dependencies. Deferred dependencies. Yeah, deferred. Yeah. So, yeah, I love this. Deferred dependencies service or class. Deferred dependencies class. Because service sort of kind of describes um, like a singleton, I think. I think those words have kind of become together. So we want to go into our packages. We're so far off into like we have all these files that need to be committed. I guess that's sort of a good indication that you're like you don't know what you're doing, right? Like if you have massive commits, I mean, a ton of things in a file in a commit, um, you probably didn't quite understand exactly what you needed to do. But we do know I want to take a class, and I want it to be for st scene and post no deferred dependencies. Depths. And then that's going to live, it's going to be an ngg, and it's going to be a class, and it's going to be in services. It's going to be, I think, I want it to be in here. So services, entities, st scene. No, wrong way. Entities, st, no, st, and then scene. And then it's going to be, where's the other class that I did up there? Okay, deferred depths. And I really do want that dot class. I want it to scene. It is long, but and then so the idea is that this would have all that the code to return specific predefined dependencies, deferred dependencies. That's the whole point for it to exist. So let's just see if we can get this thing to run. And pm run. And the goal is for there to be a new class file and spec file in there. Yeah, lazy is also probably a good one too. And runtime is really good. All three of these names, um, yeah, and that's in the right place. Okay, um, so it's a weird class, and it's about deferred dependencies. Um, what would be a good what would be a good comment for the top of it? And this is one of those things that's really crazy because, like, if you can get something like this sort of implemented, uh, the yeah, this is really good. Let's see what this thing says. I don't know if I agree with this, but let's go ahead and read it. It's a little slightly defenses. Actually, that is so true, though. Okay, actually, this is even better. I don't even know. I didn't read them all, but I like that. This pattern is intentionally used. This scenario construction media is not practical, e.g., circular or runtime only. Yeah, I love this. Use sparingly and prefer standard DI when possible. I don't know. Let's go ahead and I don't know why I would have this line here. I guess it is a little bit defensive, but like once this became obvious what this does, and it really isn't. It would take people like 2 or 3 days to get comfortable with this. Once they became comfortable, then get then they would be like, why do you even have this weird ass comment here? Get render st render service. That's what. So that way we can do the whole injector thing in here. We don't have to give access to the injector so that any random method anywhere can just grab a hold of something. Like they have to get it through here. This so they don't get the injector, but you define what you want ahead of time. Anyways, oh, I was supposed to start work 2 minutes ago. Happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.